that I definitely wanted to just give a little bit on. Um, I don't know a lot about just the area out there, so is there's still a lot that I have to learn. So I don't want to give too. I want to say like that my opinions right now are set, but Israel and Palestine and Hezbollah or Lebanon or what have you. Like the whole situation is just sad because a lot of innocent people are dying, and I just feel like there's no easy there's no easy way to kind of go about this or to think about it. What I do know is that I am one for preservation of innocent lives, especially when it comes to children, and those who can't really protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what my focus is usually on, because those who are in war, those are the people that suffer the most. I mean that and the soldiers, of course, but tho- those children and those innocent men and women, they're ill prepared for the type of violence and things that have fell upon them. And this is for both groups. This is both for Israel, for the people of Israel, and for the people of Palestine and Lebanon, and where else this conflict is actually touching. Um, Man, it's just a sad thing. So we're basically on the anniversary. It's the anniversary of the attack on Israel by Hamas, October 7th. So yeah, it's been a year since then. There's a there's a lot that I want to talk about, but I want to just have my facts straight, my understandings of the culture in the area straight. And I think what I really might have to do is just find somebody I can really talk to and even interview. A few people, I should say, not just one, on both aisles of it. Because I've been watching a lot of the Pierce Morgan thing, and watching a lot of their back and forth and their debates and stuff. As far as is Israel actually occupying this area? And are they trying to commit a genocide? Now, I can't say for sure until all my research is done that um, that it is a genocide. What I can tell, though, it is an occupation. That's for sure. Seem to be an occupying force, even if it might not be technically by like physical government bodies there or something like that. There seems to be some sort of occupation. Again, my stuff is not hard set yet until I've done all my research. It's just a lot of stuff to go through. They have a deep, crazy history. But yeah, I'm gonna pull up here the. So this is on CNN. So depending on what site you go on, they're all gonna be kind of like biased or what have you to certain groups, rather it be towards Israel or towards the people of Palestine, and stuff like that. So yeah, man, there's been a lot of life just lost. Yeah, it's just sad just look at this picture, man. I just zoom in here. Yeah, just look at this, man. And to think and to know with 100%, 1,000% assured, assurity that there are people trapped underneath this rubble right now. They're trapped or dead. There's bodies underneath this rubble. Children and innocent innocent men and women it's just sad to think that in 2024 that humanity just has so many problems still. We're just working together, just showing compassion to one another. And I'm under the firm belief that, because I'm not a pessimist, or a nihilist, I believe that there are more good people on the planet than there are bad. The problem is that majority of the bad people have majority of the power, and the more importantly, the power of influence, the power to influence, the power to persuade, and to push people into dangerous behavior or doing dangerous things, that don't ultimately help them or help anyone else for that matter. Um, this is going to be something that's just not going to be cured overnight. Neither is it going to be cured in a few generations from now, if we're being ultimately honest, unless some type of miracle happens between these different cultures to where they can settle their differences and start homogenizing, start working together, I guess, to bring about peace. This is going to be a constant thing, and stuff like this in this area has been happening for thousands of years. Um, if you're in any of the Abrahamic religions, you'll know about this. This goes back far. There's a lot of depth to these situations. This isn't just Israel, Gaza, Hezbollah, um, Lebanon, Iran. These. There's a lot of history, lots and lots of painful history. Good deal of it religion based, and a good deal of it destabilization by many groups that have, and many countries and nations that have come and gone. Um, it's just a lot, and that's why I feel for these people, and I just keep both sides in my prayers, to be honest, because it's just sad, and I don't like the unnecessary violence. As you'll see, I guess, in like the Pierce Morgan thing, it's like, do you condemn the violence that's going on, from Hamas? Yes, yes, I would have to say, if I'm going to answer the question, I think the answers, or the questions are kind of, it's nonsensical for me at least, but maybe it helps settle things as far as like between the two groups, where it makes it a little bit easier to conversate and debate over different issues. So I can see why he kind of does that. It helps with a level playing ground. As much as people don't really like it, or they think it's annoying, sometimes those annoying things and things you don't really like actually help with creating a good mesh, or creating that foundation where it allows people from both ends to kind of just stand and say, okay, I know where this person is coming from, and this person knows where I'm coming from on this. They know how I feel about it emotionally, and then now I can give them the facts that I have to back up why I feel the way I do. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Pierce Morgan and the way he approaches it. So yes, I condemn any type of terrorist act, but there's also the thing of saying, are these groups also resistance groups? And so these are good things to ask, because if you're a history buff and you go back into history and stuff like that, even if you're not a history buff, you're just going back into history and just reading up on things. A lot of times, a group of people who do something drastic or heinous, on one side, the people that they did it to, they're like, oh, they're terrorists. On the other side, they're like, no, they're a resistance group. So that's where it hurts for me, because I shouldn't say hurt, but it makes it hard for me to just kind of understand and comprehend it. Because on one token, I'm like, yes, I can understand the feeling of revenge and wanting to get revenge. I grew up in the streets. We had and you have a street code. It's eye for an eye. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned that Like that, there's that one saying, if everybody's an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, we'll all be blind and toothless. Like, at some point you have to say, okay, enough is enough. Our differences our differences are superseding our what could possibly bring us together. It's overshadowing that, is what I should say. And yeah, man, and that's why it just makes it so hard for me, because on one end I can see, yeah, Israel has to defend itself. America is an ally of Israel. We have a lot of invested in Israel. Israel produces a lot of different stuff for it, as far as tech and military and all kinds of other things that we use. So I understand our interest there, as well as our religious interest in that area. So yeah, there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of stuff that we have built up in there. But then also, again, I see on the other side where it looks like it looks genuinely like I haven't been there. So I can't say that I've seen it with my own eyes. I can't say that I was there with my body to witness these things. But from all the accounts, all the stuff I've been researching thus far, everything is leading to it's an occupation. It's been an occupation for a long time. There's a lot of deep-seated anger and hate and between these different groups and factions, just because of the back and forth. And at this point, there is no there is no right group and the wrong group to me. There's people who feel that they're being oppressed, and the most radical of them feel like they should do something about it, and then they go out and do something that's heinous. They do things to they do evil things. It is what it is. They're doing evil things. When you go out and you murder innocent people, when you go and kidnap and take people who have nothing to do with the situation, it, it doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make you look good in my eyes. I would hope that most people, they don't see that as being an effective way in this day and age to get your point across. I think there's many other ways, but hey, I'm only speaking from my seat here where I'm at. I'm not in the middle of a war zone. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in South Central LA, and in East LA, and I can tell you those felt like war zones, but it's still nothing. It pales on comparison to what these people are going through, and what these people constantly been going through for generations on both ends. So there's a lot. I'm gonna eventually end up doing a whole piece on it, a few pieces, just to kind of go over it and understand what the hell all this stuff means. But yeah, that's my little thing on it, my little take on it for right now, as far as is Israel and Hamas and Gaza and Hezbollah and Lebanon and all that stuff, like Iran, what have you, like it's a lot. So stay tuned for it. I'm gonna have more stuff. I'm gonna have more stuff on it. It's still sad, but yeah, it's the anniversary of that tragic day for them, so I can understand why it's a big deal for them. I believe they actually ended up bombing Lebanon or something like that, if I'm correct. But either way, I don't want to spend much time on it. We'll get back to this and keep you up to date. But just to fill you guys kind of in, because I know some people have been listening and they're all like, "Whoa, I thought this was kind of like a father channel. Like, how did we end up in the news and politics and all this stuff?" Hear me out. So when it comes to being a parent, knowledge is power. Well, I shouldn't say just a parent. Being a person, just being a person in this reality, knowledge is power, and it's especially important for parents to be knowledgeable, to know what's going on in the world, to know what's going on, civically, like what's happening in your local. local and state governments, what's happening in your big government, federally. Understanding these things, not just going off of emotion. This is why I wanted to bring politics. This is why I want to bring world news, everything into this atmosphere and into this thing that we're building, because these are important topics. What happens now today with Israel, with Israel, and with the Palestinian people, and with the Lebanese, and whoever else is in there, it's going to have a direct effect on me for the future, as well as my children and my children's children, if they decide to have kids. This is affecting my whole family. This is affecting our nation, because we're spending money over there. This is where we're putting money. We're putting money into that. We're investing into this whole conflict. Whether you like it or not, it's been an investment. We've been investing for a while. No matter what side you fall on, there's been investments on both sides. It's just it is what it is. We can't sit there and say that this is not affecting us. Politics affects us. Every little thing that they're doing out there is going to affect our dollar here and how we're able to spend it. It's going to affect the taxes that we're going to have to pay when wars and stuff like that jump off, because it slows down production of stuff. It slows down the transport of goods and other resources that we're depending on. And I think that's why it's also important that we need to start bringing things back home, manufacturing and building here in America, so that way we have a more stable dollar, more stable economy. And so that way, when wars popping off in all these other places, boom, cool, we can help you. We can help you. We can try to figure out diplomatic ways of kind of bringing people together, if that's what we're really looking for. But if we're going to be able to do that, we got to make sure that we have the strength to take care of ourselves in case these places fall apart. And then we can say, oh, well, dang, we tried to help, but they fell apart. But it's all right. We're gonna do, we might have a little dent in, our face, a little problems here with, certain goods and stuff that we're not gonna really be able to get. But ultimately, we'll be fine as a country. Economically, we'll be fine. And that even goes into the resources that are available for people who are dealing with Helen and with the Milton hurricanes. We're shoveling off money, 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 money out to Ukraine and out to Israel. Oh, that reminds me, I got to talk about Israel too. That's man. So yeah, next little portion I'll be talking about Israel. But yeah, so just to get everybody caught up to speed here. I'm doing the political stuff. I'm doing the world news stuff. I'm doing that stuff. One, because it's catchy as hell, and it brings people to the channel. If I'm just being upfront and honest, it really does. But my biggest thing was when I started, because that wasn't my idea when I started. I didn't think about that. What I was thinking about, I just noticed it when I got some of the views from the Trump versus Kamala thing. But one of the things that I did notice, um, was that I need to have a better understanding of what the hell is going on in my reality. What the hell is going on in this world right now? What is happening locally? What's happening state, federal? Like, these things I have to know about it. I have to understand them. If I don't understand them, how am I going to teach this to my kids? How am I going to be able to tell my kids, like, hey, you know, um, this type of policy will create this, will have this type of effect, and this type of policy will have this type of effect. And the reason why we know this is because we have the stats to back it up, because this is what we tried, this is what we went through. Now I'm gonna be able to, in the years to come, be able to sit down with my children and explain to them that when you vote, this is what you need to be thinking of. This is what you need to be looking at. You don't have to agree with me and what I think. Maybe you think what I'm thinking is old fashioned. It's outdated. It's not going to work. Perfectly fine. I'm fine with that, as long as you can argue your point. If you come to me with an emotional argument, with an anecdotal argument, and that, well, you can have anecdotes. I think that's fine. But if makes up the majority of your argument, makes up the majority of your discussion, that's where you put in all your freaking eggs in. That's the basket you're going to put it in. I can't talk to you about politics. I can't talk to you about what we're going to do about the economy. And to be honest, frankly, I'm a believer. Now, don't take this too crazy, but I'm a believer that there needs to be a test before you can vote. So whatever you're voting on, it's going to have a test. And it's not going to be anything crazy. It's just going to be, okay, what's the topics? What is the policy? And what are they trying to do? What are they trying to change? What are they trying to do? From this, you would get that early, so that way you can read over everything. You can do your own research. Boom, you come in. When you do your questionnaire, it's as simple as this. You're just going to be marking down, okay, what is this policy about? A, B, C, or D. It can be just that simple. And so it's like, this one's talking about abortion, and this is such in late terms. And you can make it really, make it really short. That way it kind of explains and you already know. So if you can't get out of there with a 90%, if you can't get a 90%, I'm serious. Like, if you're at 89, I think that's failing. 90% or above, it has to be a straight A or nothing. If you can't get an A on it, why are you voting? What are you voting for? You don't know anything. What are you voting for? If you can't explain to me what you're voting for, if you don't understand the policies, if you're just telling me you're voting for him because I don't like this other individual, you shouldn't be voting. That is, to me, that's the worst thing that you could ever do, is voting off of ignorance and emotion. Don't vote off of ignorance and emotion. Don't do it. When it comes to politics and policies, and you want to understand these things, make sure you understand them before you start telling people your opinion. Don't be just giving out your opinion all willy-nilly without that disclaimer that, hey, I don't really know much about the situation. I'm kind of just going off a feeling right now. This is how I feel about it. All right, fine, perfect. But after that, you really can't debate. You can't debate. If somebody has facts, even if the facts are wrong, at least they went out and studied the wrong facts. You didn't study anything. So it's like, how are you going to refute them? How are you going to know if they're wrong? There's so much. All right. So I'm done with my rant. I went on for a good minute. But ultimately, like I'm saying, bro, politics are important for parents because we gotta understand them. We gotta understand what it means and with all this stuff, how it's all gonna affect us and our children. So that's why I'm doing it. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Next episode is gonna be up. Man, appreciate you. Can't say it enough. We're gonna be going a long way with this Papi picture. We're gonna be here for a long minute. Hopefully my kids will be taking this over. That's how long I want to run this. I'm excited. I'm here. I'm engaged. I'm ready to learn and to do more and to be more productive in my communities, man. So let's do it, baby. Let's get smarter. Let's get wiser, so we can teach our children something. Have them grow up in a better world. Come on now, right? This is what we're here to do. So, hey, like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, comment. Please comment. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear what you have in your head. All right. Hey, more to come. Like, share, subscribe. I love you guys. All right. I love all of you. Let's do this thing, man. Fatherhood. Yeah, baby. Let's go.